Hello everybody! Today I want to share some of the key insights from one of my favorite chapters from the book Modern Manners Tools to Take You to the Top. Today we are going to analyze the chapter Out and About. Honestly, I choose it because I really feel identified with many of the situations it presents. Whether we are hosting people at home, interacting as co-workers, or simply using public spaces, this chapter shows how manners can help us shine at every moment. Please get ready because we are going to start. It might sound simple, but how we go through a door can say a lot about our personality. The book reminds us to hold the door open for others and allow them to enter before us. In countries like the United States, this is common courtesy, but in El Salvador, things are a little bit different. Yes, we do show warmth and hospitality to our guests, but sometimes we tend to open the door quickly and just wait people inside. We do not always wait or hold the door long enough, especially if we are in a rush. Most of the time, people in El Salvador limit themselves to saying, which are kind invitation to come in, but they are not always accompanied by physical gesture like holding the door or personally walking guests inside. Such as I said, we tend to be warm, yes, but our behavior can be rushed or impersonal at times. This made me reflect that we should be more intentional and physically present in our welcomes. To be honest, these are not very common in many areas of El Salvador, especially outside of malls, hospitals, or buildings in the city. But I still believe it is important to know how to behave in these spaces. The book highlights that we should let people exit before we enter, stand to the right to let others pass on the left, and avoid loud conversations. These are universal signs of respect that show we are thinking of others. Even if we do not use an elevator daily, knowing this etiquette prepares us for professional settings and travel experiences. I still remember the first time I took an elevator in my life. It was 2 years ago. That day I was accompanying my grandfather in order to have a medical appointment at one of the social assistant office in San Miguel. I remember that we were on the second floor. We were waiting for the elevator about 10 minutes. I think it was delayed. We were surrounded by some of the staff of that office. Everybody seemed very upset and also worried. When the elevator arrived, everybody started pushing in without waiting for the ones inside to come out. That was very rude. Nobody greeted, nobody was careful at all. No. That was a demonstration of the opposite of this lesson. Such as I previously mentioned, our attitude demonstrates a lot about ourselves. I think if somebody had greeted, everything would have been different because actions that demonstrate courtesy to others can have a great impact. Even the actions that we consider less important or less relevant. Example, if someone had greeted, it could have made one person from that group feel much better. because, such as I mentioned, everybody seemed very upset. Travel manners are also covered in this chapter, but the book calls them manners in motion. One example that really stood out to me was giving up your seat to someone who needs it more. Because in El Salvador, this is actually quite common and expected. We intuitively offer seat to elderly people, pregnant women, or even parents with small children. Out and about also ask us to be aware of noise, strong perfume, and personal space when traveling. Those are details that we most of the times overlook. Something that we frequently find at exploring this chapter is the do's and don'ts list. Some of these are universal, like don't interrupt conversation or don't push your way into crowded spaces, but others are cultural. For instance, in taxis or ride services like Uber, etiquette still applies. The book suggests greeting the driver sitting in the back unless invited to the front and avoiding loud phone calls. These tips are very useful, especially since Uber has become more popular than traditional taxis in many cities across El Salvador. How can we apply these manners at school, work, or social events? Please let me be very frank at this point. My family and I are usually guests during family gatherings. We host every blue moon, so not very frequent. But those rare times when we do host, we have received nice compliments, though I know there is more to learn. Being a good host means more than serving food only. It means being attentive to people's comfort, guiding them through unfamiliar spaces, and showing appreciation when they leave. As co-workers, we can do the same. Hold the doors, smile, give others space, and show up prepared and respectful. If you do this, you will never fail. Of course, there are still cultural challenges in Latin America, especially here in El Salvador. Our parents and grandparents used to be strict role models. Manners and costumes used to be something non-negotiable. I remember, in my case, if I did not greet visitors properly, there will be consequences. And believe me when I say, they were severe. But today, things have changed at all. What used to be a normal form of discipline might now be seen as too harsh or inappropriate. And the result is that new generations treat manners like they are optional, especially during first impressions. This is a challenge we need to address, not only as parents, but also as adults in general, because it is not necessary to be a parent to be a role model. As an adult, you can be a role model for new generations. If you have found this chapter interesting as I have, and you want to analyze it more deeply, I invite you to read the report I have written about it. In it, we are going to analyze how the manners and strategies the book offers are rooted in universal values and how we can start applying them at home. Thank you for watching. And remember, next time you open a door for someone, you are not just showing manners, you are showing character.